Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the podcast. Today, you join me for a really cool chat, really fun chat I had with Chris Edwin Photography. He's a good friend of mine and someone who I have been shooting with for probably the last year, off and on. And I wanted to invite him on the podcast because he wanted to come on, but also, secondly, I think it would be a really good chat. We seem to have this habit of being able just to talk. But I hope you guys are going to enjoy this episode. And if you did, I'll leave his links in the description down below as always. And if you'd like not to miss the next episode of this podcast, then make sure to be subscribed to the channel. Leave the video with a like. I'd love to hear what you think in the comment section down below. But thank you so much. And I'll let Chris kind of handle or kind of hand off into introducing himself and kind of who he is. So I'll see you very soon.
Hi to anyone who's listening to this and listening to my beautiful dulcet tones. But my name is Chris, and I currently work in retail management, which I've been doing for probably most of my working life, kind of across different areas of retail management, supervisors, managers, all those bits and pieces that involve kind of telling people what to do, really. So it's been great fun. I've learnt lots, done lots of different things, kind of met different people. So yeah, I enjoy my job. I enjoy my day job. But on that note, probably 18 months ago, Carlton, is it that I found photography?
Mm.
When we first started,
like that,
I think it's when we first kind of, me and you touched bases on that. And I kind of got talking to you and Greg's, wasn't it? Like,
yeah, it was. I would say 18.
I think it was 18 months ago. So yeah, 18 months ago. Then
a little bit less. I think it was a little bit less than that. But
let's go 18 months. So yeah, picked up my Sony Alpha 7 free, and kind of have never really turned back. Really, just kind of really enjoyed getting out. Really enjoyed just exploring the camera, exploring what kind of photos I can take. Just all kinds of different bits and pieces. Like I've never really, I know some people say that they're really kind of focused on one area. Like I don't know if I haven't quite found that yet, and I'll just try anything. So I think the first bits we did were we kind of teamed up and went to Stonehenge, I think. Did the night shoot, which I thought was really cool. Like I really enjoyed that. Like that was fun. I think wildlife's come on a long way for me. The wildlife stuff's been fantastic. But I'll jump out anywhere, man. I'll shoot anything. Do you know what I mean? Lots of people out there have seen my work. I've taken pictures of my watches. I've taken pictures of my bloody headphones. Like, I'll shoot anything if we can make it look creative. So, yeah, man. Love my photography at the minute. It's going really well. And, yeah, I kind of wouldn't turn back. Like, I wasn't sure if I'd stick at it because obviously we all know it's an expensive hobby. Anyone out there that does photography, if you tell me that it's not expensive, then man, give me some of your cash because I'll happily spend it for you. So yeah, man, yeah, it's good fun, really good fun. If you've ever thought about it, just do it. Like whether that means you pick up a point and shoot or you just use your mobile phone, like you can create just whatever you want. I think you'll back me up on that, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, and I think no, absolutely. I mean, I think one of my main things has been, use the stuff you have, learn how to use it.
Yeah.
Right. Not necessarily, I need this lens or I need this camera or I need this or I need this. Everyone starts with absolutely nothing.
Yeah, but like I know people that literally just shoot on their phone. So like I know people that literally just got a page that's just dedicated to like, this is my mobile phone and every photo I take will be on my mobile phone. And some of the stuff you go, actually, that looks like that's been taken on like, do you know what I mean? A high-end DSLR. And it's just crazy what people can create with just kind of whatever they have. So,
no, absolutely. I think that's where photography is very special because it becomes this kind of, it's not, it's open to everyone, right? Like, do you own a mobile phone? Yes. Okay, you can
yeah, of course. Yeah.
Right? Technically, right? So I think that's very, very exciting and also very interesting to see moving forward and into the future. I think that's going to be something that a lot of even your kids.
Well, yeah, mate. Like technology
kind of generation will.
It's crazy. Like you look. So let's take example. The new Sony mobile phone that they're launching. I don't know the model. I don't really follow it, but they're taking specs from an A9, so a Sony Alpha 9, and trying to incorporate that into a handset. Now that is crazy because and most photographers out there will know that an A9 costs anywhere between £2,000 and £4,500 depending on model. Do you know what I mean? It's just crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just one of those things. I mean, I think that there will never be a point. Well, I mean, there's always going to be a point where, from a like technical perspective, a camera, if you take a photo on a camera and you take a photo on a phone, the camera image will always look technically better.
Yeah, well, I think
right?
we've discussed this, haven't we? Because it's like obviously cropping scenarios and the data that your camera can capture is just by far, well, it's just far superior than what a mobile phone is going to be able to absorb into it. So yeah, like you said, the camera will always come out top, but that's not stopping you from being creative with your mobile, especially if that's all you've got and all you can afford.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that something which not many people know, but I think would be interesting to discuss a bit anyway, would be how we actually met and how we kind of, I guess, got to the point where we shot regularly together and that kind of thing. I think, like, how was that from your side? Because obviously I know from my side because
That's a good
obvious,
that's a good little.
I haven't actually heard
that's
it.
a good little thing.
I haven't actually heard it from your side.
So what was it like?
Or
I think we like when I first moved into Salisbury, I probably didn't use kind of where you were working. Are we allowed to say brand names? Like, is that going to cause copyright infringement? Or say that I've just said Sony Alpha 7 III a bit, and an A9. So I think if we're going to get sued, mate, I think we're already done for. But anyway, so
I was gonna say, I think Sony are gonna sue us.
Mate, yeah, that's it. Yeah, Sony will have our asses, bro. So yeah, met Carlton by just buying my morning coffee. So I don't know how I think the first time I knew about Carlton is obviously when I first moved to Salisbury. I think I'd seen some work floating around like Facebook or Instagram, and I was like, man, this guy's work's good, man. Like some of the stuff he's putting out, and I think the one that I think the video it was that sticks with me still now is the sunrise you did time lapse, and I was like, bloody hell, this is amazing, man. Like this what this guy's doing is incredible. And so then obviously speaking to Carlton on a kind of then a regular daily basis, obviously by my morning coffee, we just ended up chatting about photography, video, and all the bits around that. And yeah, it was just incredible to hear what Carlton was trying to do and talk about his business life and how he wanted to move forward and all the things that he had planned for the future, which was only I would say, about the 18 months to a year ago. So yeah, it was crazy just how from going to my morning coffee to then kind of building a relationship with somebody that now we kind of shoot and we're out I say we're out all the time. We're out as much as we can get out together around both of our kind of schedules. So yeah, it's just crazy. Like 2 years, where's it gone? Like from talking about it to then me physically doing it with you. Do you know what I mean? It's been great. I've learned lots from you. Still learn lots from you when we go out. You're always there to answer questions. So yeah, all down to Greg's, man. All down to the Greg's latte. So yeah, big up the Greg's. So.
No, absolutely. No, I mean, it's always interesting for me because I always like to just meet new people, talk to new people, see where this goes, see where those relationships go, and it's definitely been a interesting development, and it's kind of crazy when we think about it because I don't think we've necessarily sat down and thought.
I know, mate. It feels like yesterday. It does. It feels like yesterday. Because it's like the thing is, I think the first shoot we properly did was the Stonehenge. So you think how long ago that was? That was pretty much just like the first that like only a couple of months after really speaking, because you were like, I think was it like just a quick message? Do you fancy this? I know a little parking space we can hit up. Jump out. Let's set up the cameras, and away we went. So madness, mate. Absolutely mad scenes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember your it was funny because your reaction when you took a shot. It's pitch black.
Yeah, man. My god.
Just give some context for people listening. We can't see at all. And Chris just goes, like, I can't remember what settings you were using, but it was something like you were still using auto ISO or something. And like the Sonys are known for their just insanity when it comes to like low light. And he's just like, he just pops over an image and goes, "Oh,
Yeah.
daylight. What? No,
Mate,
what? Wait, hold on. What?
I've
What
still
do you
got
mean?"
that picture. It looks like we were shooting, I think it was like 11:30 at night in, I want to say like September, October time. And it was pitch black, freezing cold. And the camera literally made that image look like it was friggin' like, it was like 8 o'clock in the morning. It was mental. And if anyone wants to
I
hate on
just
me,
remember
or why are
your
you trying to make it
reaction.
look like daylight at 12 o'clock at night? Yes, I was new to the whole photography thing. But I did come out of that shoot with some cracking images. And if you'd like to check them out, they're at Chris Edwin Photography on Instagram. Sorry, am I allowed to do that? Throw out the whole Instagram
Absolutely.
thing.
Yeah.
You've
Why
got to
not?
plug yourself,
Why
haven't
not?
you?
You can be linked anyway.
You've got to plug
Gotta
yourself.
plug yourself. Gotta
That's it, mate.
hustle.
Yeah.
Hustle,
I'm
baby.
trying to hit
Hustle.
700 followers. So if you all want to follow me, man, I only need 17 more. So it's all good.
You'll be on
I want to
700
be on
by the time this comes
1,000
out,
by the
bro.
time we get to
I'm
that
telling
point.
you.
I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help
You
Will
and
and
me
Sam
both,
because
bro.
like they're like I was trying to promote their work on my stories and stuff and try and really grow their pages as well because like they're putting out some great content, man, and they deserve to have some recognition for the stuff that they do. So, yeah.
Absolutely, they're great lads. And I would say about them as well. We'll
Yeah,
probably come
yeah,
on to them
cool.
in a minute. But something I wanted to ask you, which I actually don't know the
Oh,
answer to,
okay.
which is weird. Right, so this is gonna be
Yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
new one for me. I think I kind of know the
Rock
answer,
it,
but
mate.
I
Let's go.
don't in the respect in the respect I haven't actually asked you
Yeah.
a direct question. So those who don't know, back in for the 14th of February, I was my last day at Greg's, and I went full time officially. And there was a lot of if but about it from my side, and I've talked about it in content before, but from someone who we had probably known each other, I want to say 6
Yeah,
months at that
probably.
point, ish, something like that. What did you, I guess, think?
Well,
Thoughts?
for me,
What was
I
your
already
gut
knew,
in that
what you were
seeing me
capable
make
of.
that decision?
Do you know what I mean? Like watching that work in that period. So watching you put that content out, all the stuff that you were doing. Obviously, we know that your main focus is your video, which is very strong. Do you know what I mean? It was a no-brainer. Do you know what I mean? I think you already knew you had the clients. You already knew you've got the skills. Even though as much as we are creatives, we always learn every day. Um, I knew you could do it. I think it's just sometimes you just need that, just somebody to kind of go, yeah, you just need to take that leap. And I think if you didn't take that leap back then, I think you'd be like kicking yourself. Like, I think you genuinely be going, why didn't I do it? And the thing is, you took that leap, like literally, what was it? Like a month before lockdown?
Yeah.
But you've come through that
Just over a
probably
month.
so much stronger than you probably would have thought. Cause it's like, look, you've not stopped working. So you did good. I think you made the right choice, man. I think people will say you made the right decision.
No, I mean, it was interesting because like when lockdown was really happening and when lockdown was a thing, you know, a lot of people were like, "Isn't this the worst time for you?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, you could take it that way, or you could take it's the best time, right?" Because something which I learned very, 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 very a while ago when I left college was, and something that I now have kind of naturally is when I'm like quote unquote scared or worried or concerned about the future, I put my head down, right, and I just work. I just
Yeah,
work
man.
my way through it. Excuse me. And for me, it gave me this kind of like, yeah, there was like, I don't know whether you listened to the third episode of the podcast where I talk about this, but there was so there was a good like probably 3 weeks where lockdown knocked me, the same as I think everyone had that, first month
Scary
was
time for
rough, right?
everyone, man. Like no one knew, like, because it was like it was really weird. Because like a week before it all kind of really happened, like everyone was like, oh yeah, it'll be cool. Do you know what I mean? Nothing's gonna happen. We'll all be fine. And then like literally within the space of what, like a week or a few hours, like everything, the world changed just overnight. And then everyone was then really uncertain about what the future was going to hold. And it's still really rough now. Like I'm just grateful that I could go back to my day job and be paid. And I think people should be grateful that they've still got, because there'll be lots of people that won't like have that. so it's a really well, I don't really want to swear, but it's a really crappy place to be like doing anything. So everyone's just got to be positive and upbeat about what you're doing and just make it work.
No, absolutely. I think, for me, that I got to a point where I was like, right, I need to start working again, right? So I put a line in the sand and I was like, right, I'm gonna work. But looking back now, I'm extremely proud of what I was actually able to achieve from, say, start of April to now. Just simply because the projects I'm doing and the projects I'm looking at and the things I'm doing now, it's allowed me to grow so much from a filmmaker perspective, but also personally and also professionally. And that's what I said when I went full time. I was like, look, this might be the funnest 6 months of my life, and I might have to go get a job.
Yeah, I think you did.
Or it might be, or it might be the start of my actual career, right? Like my real career, right? And I mean that in the nicest way possible, and because I still have friends from my old work, right? I still
but
stuff there.
But mate, I don't think they're going to take offense to that, because obviously, like they all knew what you were doing. So it's like if you were going to build a career out of Greg's, you would have gone, right, we need to be full time. I need to be on management training and blah blah blah. So everyone knew that you were not going to be there forever. Do you know what I mean? And the videography, photography stuff was always going to take first place, and it did, because you would always say to your boss, oh, I need X, Y, and Z. I've got X, Y, and Z on. And do you know what I mean? So you made it work. So you made your photography pretty much, or your videography, your main kind of role anyway, because you'd always go to your shoots and you'd always do your bit. So you could always say that Greg's was always second, couldn't you? If you think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, and that was part of my decision when I went quote unquote full time. I looked at the amount of hours I was putting in every day, and I was like, well, I'm already running it full time already, right? Because most people spend like 8 to 9 hours a day in their full time job. I'm spending 8 to 9 hours a day every day.
Yeah, so you're doing 9 hours media and 4 or 5 hours at a part time job. So obviously, it was always going to be logical. And you made the right decision. It was always going to be logical to take that leap when you did. So you did the right thing.
And to be honest, nearly 6 months on, which is crazy to think.
I vividly remember the conversation we had in my office, because it was. Do you know why I remember it? It's because I'd got my new Vanguard case arrived on the doorstep, and me and you were having a conversation about that, plus you going full time. That's how I remember that.
Yeah, no, that was it. Because I popped up to see you, because you were like, "Oh, mate, I've got this case, mate. It's
guys,
crazy.
If you want to see it, check out my Instagram. It's on there. It's absolute beast. Love it. It keeps all your gear protected, man. Oh, crazy. Absolutely amazing.
But yeah, no, I think, was it? Correct me if I'm wrong here, but didn't I genuinely ask you?
Yeah, we had that conversation around what do you think I should do? Which I guess you probably asked a couple of your other photography friends.
I asked around. Put it that way, right? I asked, is this am I an idiot for thinking about
this? Mate, you got to think of it like you did. This is what I want to do with my life. I can't always hold on to a part-time job and then do this. You can't have both. You couldn't have had it both ways, because you just get to a point where you just be knackered. And
I was, those who knew me and looking at the content that I was creating then, and it's funny because it took until I think 2 weeks before I resigned for my bosses in Greg's to really understand. And I think I had a shoot, I think in London, right? So to give some context, like the people who are on opening shift on Greg's, you have to get there for 6 a.m. You start work at 6, right? And I think it was something along those. I forget what I was doing, but I had a shoot in London the previous night, and I would normally come back from those shoots and get back at 1 in the morning, right?
I used to see your Instagrams actually.
I would collapse. I would get home. I would collapse for 4 hours. Wake up, shower, get dressed, go out, go to work for 4 hours, then come back, edit whatever, or dump the footage and then start editing whatever I had done the previous day.
Dirty scenes,
right? and it was like, it got to the point where, like, there was always this tension, I guess, in some ways as well. Like, it was this, like, tension, or there was always this kind of butting heads quite a lot of the time in Greg's, and it got to the point where it was like, for me, I was like, this is not fair on, like, half the people I'm working with, because they know I don't particularly, my priorities are not here.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah.
And
Well,
won't be
I think
here,
they knew that.
right.
Like,
I think they knew that for a while, but it was like one of those things about how long can I feasibly do what I was doing, which was basically the average day I would go to bed at 11.
Put it this way, I'll put it in a nutshell,
right?
bro. I think if you would have maybe gone a month deeper into that job, you would have got fired. That's me being honest.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, you're completely right. I mean, to be fair, I was pushing my luck, and I was. Not a lot of people know this, but I don't think there's a specific issue to even say it at the moment, to be honest. But I was on. I'll use the term thin
like
ice.
17 verbal warnings. Or was it 17,000 verbal warnings? I can't remember.
It might as well have been, to be honest. It was this kind of. I was playing the line very, very closely.
Yes,
I put it that way. Right, and I think that every single person who knew me and knew me knew that I was deliberately pushing my luck, because it got to the point quite towards the end where I didn't care. I genuinely
that's the moment
care.
you knew that you were going.
I was like, I'm just gonna ride this out for as long as I can. Thing, and it was funny because I had a friend of mine. I don't want to make the whole podcast about me going full time, but I think it's interesting to explore. And I was having a conversation about it. It must have been like a year before that decision. And she asked me, "Look, when are you gonna actually give your video stuff like a genuine go, right?" And it was then I said, "Look, okay, I'm gonna give myself a year from that day, right?" I said I'm gonna resign, right? Because I was ready at that point, and I felt I was ready. But it took me then just over a year to actually then like make that decision 100%.
Go on.
And then actually do it. And I think, and I remember having a conversation with some of the guys who actually worked there, and they were like, we kind of knew this was coming. It was a matter of when, more than a matter of if, right? But I can say, at the moment at least, it was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made.
I think, personally. To be fair, like
even if it ends tomorrow, right?
But since then, I personally think you've probably put together some of your best content. That's just my personal opinion. So some like key highlights for me would be Christmas, especially. So all the bits, because I think we teamed up at Christmas as well, didn't we? And did a little bit, yes. But Christmas, especially, like the frost stuff that you did for the TP Christmas market was absolutely outstanding. The most recent of your Salisbury is open. Like I told you already, like I think that's probably your best piece to date. I really do. Mm-hmm. That's just my personal opinion. You've probably got a different opinion, but honestly, mate, hands down, that's probably my favourite today. And I'm not taking away from any of your other bits of work, but yeah, great piece of work, man. You should be really proud of that.
No, I mean, definitely. I mean, for me, the Salisbury Open film had a lot of sentimental value for me because it was kind of the... it's that or Stay Strong Salisbury. I mean, Stay Strong Salisbury was I took all of the negative energy that I had about lockdown and about the situation that we were in, and I channeled it into that video.
It's just some crazy, right? Like, it's crazy what it's done to people. Do you know what I mean? Like, and the amount of people you've seen doing just new and different things, like what lockdown's done to people, it's madness.
Yeah, I mean, it's and you mentioned Sam and Whale.
Yeah, man.
Before, I think I might be wrong in this, but I think they basically started their entire YouTube /photography really. Yeah, I mean, it probably existed, but it wasn't really a thing on either of our
Yeah, so I
radars
think I came
until
across
lockdown,
Sam
right?
by just kind of flicking through Insta, kind of through like the kind of looking through the local area, like search Salisbury and then having a look at what people were doing. And I just kept seeing like these moody shots in like the evening. And I was like, who is this guy, man? Like he's putting out some nice images. And like, yeah, so I hit the follow as you do. And yeah, just been kind of keeping up. And then obviously recently they've all been kind of getting together and vlogging and blogging or whatever they call it these days. And yeah, I just followed like most of his crew because they're putting out some really good stuff. Like, and their video editing skills are kind of crazy, man. Like that's something that maybe I'll learn later down the line. But like they've put together some really good content, and I think they'll go far. I think me and you said this the other day. I think the pair of them have got some real good potential for kind of future bits and pieces. So you better watch yourself, Carlton, man. You better watch yourself.
No, definitely. I mean, I said to them, to both of them, you know, I've said, you know, a lot of the content they're making now is the content that I saw myself making and have still up. The stuff I was making at the start of 2018, right? Like, it's literally like nearly a carbon copy, right? But
unfortunately, mate, the stuff you were making was on a dodgy iPhone 4.
No, that was in 2016,
cool.
so 17, and that was that we don't
Why
talk
not?
about.
Why can't we talk about that
about
stuff?
This video. They don't exist.
No,
they don't exist. I don't know what you mean, mate.
Hilarious. But they're rocking the cannons, mate. So I think they're going to trump you when it comes to starting out. So
being carried by autofocus is not a good look. I'll be honest. It's not a good look, boys. If you're listening, it's not a good look being carried by autofocus.
If anyone wants to see those videos, come and see me, and I'm sure I can find them. So that's not a problem. Oh man.
No, I mean, all just I'm actually very proud of those like iPhone vlogs.
You should be, mate. Not many people can walk down the road, yeah, with their camera in their hand and speak into it, walking around just day to day. Because I was even nervous about doing this, knowing that no one can physically see me, but knowing that people will hear me at some point made me feel really anxious. But so for you and like Will and Sam and whoever else is out there doing this, like I couldn't imagine walking down the road and just like vlogging into a camera. I just couldn't see myself doing that. It makes me real kind of edgy.
That's why I was doing iPhone stuff. Because you know those really long selfie sticks? Yeah? The problem is with the iPhone I was using. It had like 50 mil, basically. It was like the equivalent to 50 mil. So for me to get like the proper vlog shot, I had to have it so far away.
So that's what I mean. So even then, you're walking around with like a random pole in your hand, like trying to get shots. So it's even worse because people would then be more kind of curious to go like, what the hell is this guy doing? Like walking around with a stick and a phone on the end. Like, because what are Sam and Will using? Like because obviously they've got some crisp. I think Will uses his Canon, doesn't he, to do most of it?
Mostly they shoot on mid-range Canons, from what I know of.
Yeah, I thought I wasn't sure if they vlogged on those or vlogged on like obviously a new high-end mobile, because obviously they're always carrying their cameras. I get that, but yeah, like fair play to them. Do you know what I mean? They don't care. Like they're everywhere, just doing stuff like where there's loads of people and they just don't care. They just get on and do it. Like,
It's hard, right? It is definitely hard, to do, but it's that thing where you just kind of. I have this vague memory of when I did daily vlogging and I did it properly. I want to say it's like episode 2 of 2018, and I had literally just started the concept of vlogging myself, right? Like actually going out and forcing myself to do it in public, and I have never had a situation like this really before. Like since, right? And before and since. And I was walking, it was at Christmas or around Christmas. I was walking and I was vlogging. And these girls are behind me, right? And they start screaming, "Oh, add me on Snapchat."
I'm gonna go back and find it.
I don't know whether you've seen this video, but it's hilarious. And yeah, they're just like, "Oh, can we be in your vlog? Can we be in this?" And the thing was, if you have a big channel in that
join
situation,
the vlog, man.
you're like, oh yeah, let me show you the channel, right? But I was like, sure, they can join the vlog, why not, right? But then you realize, what if they actually look it up and they realize I'm not just talking
Well,
to
yeah, because
myself,
probably
literally,
back
and no
then,
one
people
else?
like you walking around, everybody
And
thought you were some famous dude, just like man vlogging like everywhere you were going.
yeah,
Like he's the Kim Kardashian of Salisbury, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, 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 absolutely. And that was the thing. It was like, it was in the situation. I was just like, and the thing was, I was just talking to. I was just not, because when you do vlogging properly, like you get into the zone where you don't care about anyone else, right? Like I find anyway, or I'm in the position
Yeah,
now where
but
I
you
just
do it
don't really
so. But
mind or
you're doing
care.
it like you
You
put.
know,
What do you
like
put? What your Instagram stories? What, one every like 20 minutes? It feels. No, I'm not. Hey, mate, don't take that as a negative. I'm just saying, like, do you know what I mean? And that's probably why you're so confident
no, no,
because
no,
you're
no,
always
definitely.
you just got a consistent flow.
No, definitely. I mean, yeah, but the thing is, it's one of those things, right? Where, and I say this to clients all the time because they're like, I can't do what you do. They say to me like, oh, I can't do what you do. I can't even look in a camera lens, right, and act confident. Never mind or anything else. And I'm like, yeah, I get that completely, and I was there, right? But you need to remember, from like, okay, I've been creating content since I was 12. 1, 2, I was vlogging at
Man, that's
16,
crazy. Like,
17,
so like a lot of people
right?
think like vlogging's a new thing, but like it's been around for ages, like years.
Like, so I have like I have like off and on like
Yeah, it's mad.
6 to 7 years experience of vlogging, right? So that's why the concept of doing like when you walk around with a rig my size and you vlog into that, vlogging on your
Yeah.
phone seems very timid in comparison, right?
But that's
Doing
like putting
story
up
stuff
when I put
seems
up
very
that little
timid in
video the other day
comparison
when I met
because
you. Like, I was like, "My God, I look like such a dick." I was just like, I felt like such a dick talking into my camera, going, "Yeah, I'm gonna meet Carlton for like a photo shoot," but I shouldn't because it's like I'm being creative and it's cool because it just lets people know that kind of checking out my work. Oh man, like Chris is out today, like trying to shoot some new content. So maybe it's something I should be doing more often.
yeah, so I think you'll find like, and the best thing I say, like, and the best piece of advice that I give to clients all the time, that because one of the things I say to them is try to use stories, right? Because it's one of the best ways to engage with your customers, your clients, your whoever, right? And a very, very simple tip is just simply every morning, you don't have to do it on your face, but just walk past and take a photo of someone when you're walking to work, right? And just write on it, good morning. Do that for 2 weeks, right? And I'll guarantee you it will trigger more ideas in your head and you'll slowly feel more and more confident about the
Yeah, yeah,
concept
yeah.
of creating story content passively, right? And that kind of thing. Or it'll be just something simple like, oh, you'll get an idea for a photo, or you'll take a photo for your story, or but whatever it is, you'll just think of ideas and you'll get more and more comfortable and more open to the idea of using your story, right? And then that will open up the idea of maybe I should use my real camera to film me doing what I love, right? Like, for example, you were talking to me the other week, or you're still looking at getting a second camera, right? I can
No,
see.
there's no looking, bruv. That's happening. Like Sony, if you're watching me, because obviously I'm like A1 of Carlton's vlogging crew,
Absolutely.
like you need to be launching some cameras because Canon are literally like beating your ass down at the minute. I don't know if you've seen the R5 and R6 specs,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
mate,
The embargo got lifted
like
today, and
life is going to be difficult for Sony if they don't pull their finger out. Do you know what I mean? Like you've got a
absolutely.
guy here ready to pay. Let's get the cameras rolling, man.
And I'm sure there'll be lots of others that are ready to pay, not just you. But definitely. But yeah, I mean, as I say, I mean, you'll be, I think, in a position like sooner rather than later. I mean, I've already seen your progression since we've discussed more, and since you've been around me, and sort of, I've found that it's kind of
Yeah,
infectious
so
in some ways. Like I create content, and the kind of content I create
I think the
can be very
content thing. So
infectious
yeah,
in that
I've
perspective.
definitely learned crazy amounts from you, and I'm just gonna big up my father-in-law because I think most of it when we first started came from him. So obviously, as you're aware, Carlton, like when I got my camera, I already knew Craig had already got a similar kind of camera, and he was the one who kind of said, "Look, Chris, man, let's get together, let's do this, let's have a little look at what we can turn you into." he wasn't sure at the start if I'd stick it out because obviously it's one of those things, isn't it? Like it's an expensive hobby, like I think we said at the start of this. And yeah, he's like, look, if you like it, basically, I'm going to blame him for all the purchases I made. Like he might not hear this. I might even just send him the link so he can find the bit where I said to him that I blame him for all of the purchases I've made. But yeah, we just stuck at it. And like looking at you, him, all the other guys that I've kind of come across over the last kind of 12, 18 months, it's just kept me kind of going, right, what can I do to make things better? What can I do to take better images? What can I do to be more creative? Just looking for things that are unique and different and not doing all the same stuff. Okay, I can't really say that because I've got about 50 million pictures of kingfishers, which yet again, I'm very thankful for, Craig. But yeah, man, like it's been great. I think people like yourself, Craig, the guys that I'm watching now, Will, Sam, they're the ones that you just kind of go, yeah, actually, this is why we do it because it's just great. And they keep you wanting to do better and better because you watch someone put something out there and you're like, shit, man, they've like trumped me there. I need to go and do something better. I think you will agree. I think you'll agree.
No, that's I mean, it's no, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like as I was gonna say, it's like this symbiotic relationship, and that's why like from the photography community in Salisbury, like there's like people who I know and only know through that community, right? Like, and you know, we're one of them, you know, that I know of or I ran into while shooting or whatever, you know. But
oh, we
they
can't
kind of
forget
everyone
Oscar,
bounces
man.
off each
Let's
other,
not forget Oscar.
right? In the respect
like my man, like he's pumping out some serious. Like I know he took a break, and I was really like, because I think I said to you, like, where the hell's Oscar gone, man? I was really like downhearted about that because the guy was pumping out some serious imagery of Salisbury, and it was just like crazy good. I'm glad you're back, Oscar, man. If you do sit and listen to these, like, keep up the good work, man. Like that.
It's been interesting because there's kind of two or like three like real big communities in Salisbury regarding photography. There's like the older people, like me, you, blah blah blah. You know.
Wait, how old
like,
do you think I am?
guys.
Well, you know how old I am. Like, don't call me old. Like, I know I feel old, but like, come on. Like, don't tell your followers that I'm old. I'm 18, guys. Don't you worry. Like,
sorry, bro.
Yeah, I wish. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What I mean by that was the kind of.
Don't try and dig yourself out of this hole, man. Like, oh, dude.
No, but I mean, it's one of those things where like I don't know. There's some of them that are still in school, right? And it's weird for me to think about they're doing this level of work along with school.
Yeah, but you make it what you want it to be, bro. That's the simple. If you're dedicated, you'll make time. That's plain and simple. If you're that invested in it, you'll do it no matter what. So it doesn't matter whether you've got school, work, or whatever that's there. If you're that invested, you will go and you will do what needs to be done. So have fair play to those guys. Do you know what I mean? They're the guys that will go far and go kind of go far with their photography, videography, or whatever they choose to do.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm. No, absolutely. As I say, it's been interesting to like. It's kind of surreal in some ways as well for me because I'm in this like position now where I'm seeing like Sam and Will is a key example, but like I'm seeing people be where I was a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah.
But I still feel like I'm there. I'm obviously not, right? But like for me, there's not much different minus time, right? And just progression because I still feel as if I'm, you know, doing the same thing or like or etc. You know what I mean? Like it's that kind of still in some ways it's still surreal and until very recently, I have, I guess in some ways not taken myself as seriously as I think I should as well, which is kind of in some ways my undoing as well, especially when it comes to like client stuff because like. I think in some ways it was one of those things where I never thought I was as good as I actually am until I realized how good I actually was. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, and it's
let me just add a point there. Don't ever take your skills for granted.
Oh no, of course not.
because there'll always be someone that might just do it a little better, and you're like, crap, man, how have I let that happen? Because
Oh no, no, of course.
sometimes you can get complacent, innit?
Oh
And
no,
you'll be like, oh,
absolutely, and I don't, and I
but
never want
that,
to
like,
get, and personally, I never want to get comfortable with where I am.
I think
I
one of
always
your
want to be.
mottos, I think you've always kind of used for me, or if you like, you'll always kind of like put into my DMs would be, is it keep learning or keep creating? I think you kind of use that quite a lot with me, innit? So,
I have so many, but like,
yeah, but I think
I have ones that
that's the gist of things. Like, is whenever I post something, or you'll kind of just drop in and go, man, just like either keep creating, keep up the good work, or do you know what I mean? That's what it is. It's just making sure that you're always trying to be creative, no matter what you're doing.
yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of those things that, like, it's that constant balancing act, and I think that for me anyway, personally, I've been kind of on the, I guess, on the other side of it, which is a interesting concept, I guess, in some ways, because as I was saying a moment ago, I, in some ways, I was like, how good actually am I, right? Because I still now right now I look at like stuff I've done recently and I still see the flaws in it, right? I see stuff that I shot yesterday that I still see flaws in, right? Or, oh, that could be better, that could be cleaner, blah 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 blah, right? Or the color grade could be better, or whatever, right? Whatever it is. But I think that's part of the magic of it, because it's this kind of constant cycle of like,
It
you
keeps
create
you
something.
learning, mate. It keeps you learning. That's what it does. So you looking at your work going, oh man, I could have been an f stop lower, f stop higher, whatever it may be. Do you know what I mean? Um, it always keeps you to then go and try and do that next job that little bit better, or that little bit cleaner. So, which I think is important in your industry, isn't it? Like, you want to put out the best possible work that you can physically do.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, at that time, and do just the best that you can with the tools
the
you have to
tools
at
that
your
you have, yes, very much so, man. And it's not, you've
and
got more than probably most. You know what I mean? You're in a very
mm,
strong position with the kit that you can kind of go out with. Mate, should we talk about kit? I love talking about kit, and you know I like
let's
talking
go for it.
about kit.
Let's
What
go
do you
for
want
it.
to know? What would you do? Do your viewers want to know what I've got in my kit bag?
Why not? Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah, but I don't want to sound like I'm like some kind of like,
He's gonna Sony flex now. Here we go,
mate,
Sony flex
I'm
boy.
literally gonna flex on you guys, boy. Like, so what should we start with? Camel body.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
So we've got what we got. We got an Alpha 7 III, absolute beaut of a camera. Absolutely love it. Fantastic piece of kit. Fair play, Sony. You've done a good job there. And then we'll start. We'll kind of go from low to high, shall we? In lens range, shall we?
Yeah,
So we'll
sure. Why
go.
not?
What have I got? Tamron. Wow, 28 to 75 was my first purchase, actually. Absolutely, I take that everywhere, don't I, Colin? Literally everywhere.
Yeah, yeah,
Literally,
yeah.
that's pretty much my. It's like your. Is it your Sigma one that you've got, or
Yeah, it's the
I
equivalent to
always, yeah,
my Sigma 18 to
it's kind of
35
my
lens.
carry around, literally snapshot of whatever. So that if I walk to work sometimes, which I do with my camera, I have done a lot like more recently. You never know what you can see just in the short walk from my house to work. Yeah, I mean, you can see anything. So love my Tamron. Absolutely fantastic. Then what have we got? This is where we get into the big boys. So we've got the Sony 70 to 200 G Master. Now, boys and girls, that lens is an absolute animal. Mate, the cleanest shot you will ever take will come from that lens. I think I've probably got, and you can come at me if you want, but I reckon I've got the best of
Have you
that
got the f
range.
two point have you got the
Yeah,
f2.8
of
version?
course I
Yeah.
have. What do you think I
Oh
am,
no,
Colton?
I remember.
Have
I
you
remember
got the
the.
f2.8? Uh,
I remember the conversation we had
no,
actually
I
about
tell
the
you what. I'll
performance.
be honest with you, because I had this. I think I had the conversation with you, and I had the conversation with Craig. And oh, if any of you guys don't know who Craig is, Craig's my father-in-law. He kind of got me into buying all this stuff. So thank you, Craig, again.
It's Craig's fault.
It,
It's Craig's fault.
we
Remember, that was
spoke.
Craig's
Can
fault.
you tag him in this video? Have you got him? Just so he can get some like
You,
promotion going.
of course I can, but you'll need to remember
Yeah,
it's
well
coming out
done,
in
mate.
October.
So I think we and him spoke. So we were speaking because I said, I don't know if it's worth paying the extra money for the F4 2.8. Rah, 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 rah. I think I should just get like the F4. And he was like, man, trust me, you will regret getting like, if you get the F4, it'll always be that kind of like, I think it is the F4, isn't it? In the 70-200. Yeah, yeah. So and he was like, you'll regret it, you'll regret it. You'll kind of always go, what if? And I was like, do you know what? I'm just gonna bite the bullet. I was gonna get the 2.8, and I think it was probably the best decision I made. So if any of you out there are rocking Sony Alphas, get that lens, man. It's absolutely outstanding.
It is the sharpest lens you can buy at the moment, unless they release
I
a
think,
Mark
yeah, I would
II or
like to say
three or
so.
whatever they're on.
Yeah,
For Sony cameras anyway, my understanding is the G Master series of lenses. So whatever
it's the cream of the crop, man. Like,
millimeter range you're talking about, is the best, sharpest lenses you can get for a Sony Alpha camera, right?
it's beautiful.
The only things that are better, and they're not for stills, are cinema glass, and that's for cinema film.
Oh yeah,
stuff.
cinema quality film, isn't it? Of course it is.
Right, like it's not. You could take photos with it, but you wouldn't. Trust me, you wouldn't. It's heavy. It's annoying. It's manual focus only. It's like why would you hammer in something with a screwdriver, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's just you're using the wrong tool for the wrong job. In that respect, but yes, you're right. In the respect to the sharpest lens that you can buy, at
Some
this
people
moment,
might kind of go, well, actually, the new Tamron is just as good. Fuck off.
No,
Sorry,
it's a third party lens.
I swore on your stream.
It's all
Yeah,
good,
it's a
bro.
third
Don't
party
worry.
lens. Don't get me wrong, Tamron put out and have done with some crazy good lenses, and it'd be good for someone that's starting out that can't afford.
Well, no, not
To
everyone
go
can blow
straight in.
2 point whatever it is on a lens.
What's it?
Right?
2.2. Yeah, I think it's about 2.2K for that Sony.
Yeah.
So
Like, exactly. Like that's a lot of money, right? Like,
yeah, of course.
not,
And
not
obviously not everyone can come straight in at that stuff. So somebody might pick up the Tamron and go, actually, this is perfectly fine for me. And there's no harm in that. You can literally, if you can afford to get it, get it. And if you can't, it's not saying you're not going to be able to create great content. Do you know what I mean? I'm still learning. Yeah, and some people might think, oh my God, this guy's just gone out and bought all this crazy gear, but he's still an amateur. Yeah, great, I am. But I'm learning very well with my kit and I enjoy it. So, and that's all that matters, really. And I've got one more lens to add to that bag, which is my pride and joy. That is my Sony 2-600G, which is yet again an absolute animal. And if any of you kind of want to check out some of the photos I've used, like taken with that lens, check my Instagram, man. Look at the pictures of the kingfishers. They're crisp, they're sharp. And one day, me and Craig will own 600mm primes. I can picture your face right now, Carton. Like what you're smirking, going, yeah, I know he will, because you know I will.
the reason why I'm smirking, right?
I know. I can
imagine.
even see
I can
you on
imagine you.
camera.
I can imagine you walking down the street with it. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Right?
I would carry it like a freaking baby.
It's not even like I don't think you're gonna get it. It's just the look on your face the first day you get it and the first day I see you with it. It's just
I don't
gonna be
think it would just stay
I
in the
need
box.
to bring a camera. I need.
It would just be like, I'll just carry it around in the box everywhere. And because if you see, guys, if you don't know me, I'm like really one of those people that like, so I'm really kind of, I don't know if I've got like a problem, but the other day I had my camera out on its tripod and I was cleaning it with cotton buds. Like that's weird, isn't it?
Which isn't an ideal situation.
And then Colin, you tell now tell your people what you did with one of your old cameras before you kind of got a bit more professional.
Which one?
Well, the one that just goes out in the rain and it just swings about in the wind.
Oh, I've got so many stories, mate. Which camera would you like me to tell you how I broke?
Well, there you go. See, like I just mate, like it's such an investment. Like you need
But
to.
also, just to be clear, okay, the cameras I broke are nowhere close to the price of what we're talking about in
Yeah,
regards
don't take
to
away that. Yeah, guys,
like
don't take away that Carlton's shit at his job because he's not. We are talking prior to him becoming professional.
right.
But I am just
But
sad and like to clean
let
my
me put it
camera
this
all the time.
let me put it this way. I sometimes do riskier decisions with equipment to get the shot, because I think that the shot is more important, right? And some of the like I haven't even told Chris the definite like all of the stories I have done with my GH5, for example. But there is multiple different things where
Becca's trying to
multiple
get in on
different
the stream,
times
man.
where
Look, it's creeping in. Look, guys, I know you can't see this, but like my missus is trying to hijack like the podcast here, like thinking she's
it's
going to be
alright.
famous and thing.
It's alright. Next week we'll invite Becca on.
Well,
It's
we're
alright.
about yeah, she can talk to you about like a whole different business proposition, man. Like we're completely different ends of the
we'll
spectrum.
invite. We'll invite. So how is it to be with someone who is as obsessed with cameras
Yeah,
as
shit. But
Chris
do
is?
you know, actually, talking about if you go like so, Becca. So this is my message. She actually had what used to do photography back in the day. So we went through her. I believe it was her Facebook page a few weeks back, and she showed me all. It's mainly was it macro? I actually did a lot of macros, so like up close shots of like flowers, insects, and honestly, absolutely fantastic. And I think just like photography must just run in their bloodline, like because like, I think they like even Becca's mum, which is Craig's partner. I think she's even done a little bit as well. So they've all been really creative. Creative family. There you go. She wants me to say it. It's a creative family. So yeah, they are. Even I think your brother likes a bit of. I think he's creative in a different way. So like he likes music, which is still do you know what I mean? That's creative. He's got a guitar.
Oh
And,
yeah, yeah.
wait, we're
It's
going
still
off topic,
creative. It's
man. We've
still
gone
an
from
art.
cameras to guitars. But it's the creative's creative, no matter what you do.
Welcome to the Creative Podcast with
Yeah,
Brunton
that's it,
Media,
man.
where
Well,
we
that's
talk
what it
about
is.
everything
We're
and
just talking
everything creative.
about things that are creative. So, but yeah, man, like photography, like I think for them guys, it's just been a big part of all of their lives for many years. So I think Craig's been doing it for like 6, 7 years now. And like he says to me, he still learns every time he picks up his camera. Do you mean, oh my God, I can change this setting. Oh my God, I found this setting. Or I've watched a YouTuber, or I've watched a vlogger, blogger, whatever you want to call them. And I've learned something new today. So I think you're the same. I think you can, you'll always learn something new.
Oh yeah,
There'll always
exactly.
be
I mean,
something, there's always a trick
there's
in
always
there.
new techniques, or there's always new, especially when you talk about video. Like everything goes on to steroids the second you switch to video. You know, like photography wise, is like there is obviously like a pro ceiling, pro ceiling. You know, a world class photography, of
Yeah.
course, but like the second you go to video, there's a whole different field of things you need to know, and whole different ball games, and whole you know, there's a whole different set of techniques that you use and can use and should use, and why you should use them and how you should use them, and you know, there's so many other elements that actually have nothing to do with the camera that you need to learn as well, like which have crossover with photography, like lighting, like composition, like
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
things like that, you know. But it, you know, it's been, as I say, I mean, it's been one of those things that's very, very interesting and very, very fulfilling for me. And I think that's the most important thing, because for me, as someone who's always wanted to grow and always wanted to pursue a kind of field where every day, you know, people go, oh, you work a lot, right? But I get so fulfilled from my work. That's why I work all the time, right? Because it firstly doesn't feel like work, and secondly, even when it does, I'm getting so much fulfillment from it. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, like do you know what I mean? It's like let's talk. Let's talk. So let's just talk about what I've just branched out into in the last kind of few days, isn't it? So you know that I've just started doing a bit of stuff with Twitch and stuff, and obviously Carlton knows I've obviously tapped him up for some ideas and bits and pieces around how I can be a little bit more successful. And shout out to Paris, who's actually my next door neighbor, who actually earns real money from streaming. Do you know what I mean? Like it's crazy. Like that, like you just said about your fulfillment. Like that's his fulfillment. Like, do you know what I mean? He plays his games and he earns a living. So you know what I mean? It's just whatever you do, as long as it like. And people will say I'm crazy, like working in a retail environment, but I'm going to say this. I still wake up every day and enjoy going to my job, even in this crazy climate.
Again, there's
And
nothing wrong with there's nothing wrong with that, right? As long as that is as you can wholeheartedly say, I feel fulfilled working in Greg Smith's
wherever it is,
right?
and that's it. But that's what's important.
More
It's when
power
it
to you, you know what I mean?
changes. It's when it changes, and you kind of wake up and go, "Do you know what? I can't. I don't want to go in there today." That's then when you need to look at your life and change it. But like, I know you keep going on at me about, "Oh my God, Chris, when are you going to go full-time photography? When are you going to go full-time photography?" Do you know what I mean? It's not one of those things I've thought about, because it's just like at the minute, I like doing it the way I do it. Like, I just enjoy. I feel like it put loads more pressure on me, and I don't know then if I don't know if I would then be as creative as I currently am at the minute. But that's not saying that maybe 12 months down the line, 24 months down the line, I've had a change of heart and gone, do you know what? Maybe I'm ready for this. Like you, isn't it? It'd be a similar circumstance to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's one of those things like, it's funny because I can't remember, I was consuming some content or something, I can't remember from whom, but it was something on those lines of, if you truly love what you do, don't do it as a job, right?
Yeah, it shouldn't be that, but like,
But the
it's
thing is,
hard.
it's like,
It's hard.
it's a difficult decision to make, but I think for me, like, it's one of those things where there's days where I feel like it's work, right? Like today, for example. Today's
I
one of
think
those
we all
days
have
where it
those
just like
days, though,
feels like
man.
days
Like,
where it feels like work. Where I spent the entire day not really creating much. It's just writing emails, making phone calls, doing all boring, doing all the admin boring stuff, stuff that brings in business, right? The things I actually get, that brings me things to get paid for.
yeah.
Right? That of course are important, right? But I think it's one of those things where videographers and photographers kind of get a bad rap in some ways, because from what people see, it's this concept of, oh, you literally get paid to take photos and run around with a camera. That is actually a very, very, very small percentage of what we do, right?
Now, I would say that's probably not even the main part of the job. Don't get me wrong, it is an important part, and you obviously want to get the right lighting, you want to get the right kind of location, setting, whatever. But all of the stuff that it's the behind the scenes bit. So you think like of how I know how long it takes you to render a video. Do you know what I mean? And how long it takes for all of that stuff. And like, if you was to give people an example of like, if you used to shot 4 hours worth of video, there's no way you're going to use all 4 hours of that. You're probably going to use 20 minutes. That might be a bit exaggerated, but you know what I mean? So you shoot all of that content to then have to slim it right down to the bit that you need. And that doesn't just happen. That doesn't just go, oh, Carlton's just going to upload this video onto his computer and it'll be done. Like, that is far from the truth. Like, this is why we're recording a podcast now, ready for October, because things don't just happen overnight. Well, in Carlton's case, they do, because he like never sleeps. So, like the guy's a nutter.
Don't tell people. You're giving them bad impression.
Yeah, man. No, it's just work ethic. That if you want work ethic, man, you go see Carlton. He'll tell you about it.
Just I don't know. Like, people say that all the time. Like, oh, you're crazy. It's work all the time. And I think it was Will that said yesterday, just don't go and have a heart attack on us. And I said this to him when we were in the podcast.
You won't have a heart attack, bro. If you don't drink enough energy drinks, have a heart attack.
I'll be all right. It's one of those things. It's like if you listen to your body, right, and you have discipline, right, and you don't cut your sleep down to nothing. Obviously, there's days where I have to, right? Like, there's days where I'm up all night, and there's days, right. Everyone has those days, right? There's certain reasons why you do that, but in most cases, on average, right, if you sleep 8 hours, you eat well, you exercise, and you'll be fine.
That's pretty much it. I think you're right. A good 8 hours if you can, and a good bit of exercise. You can do anything. Anything.
Like it's simple as that. Like, if you want it, and then this is what I said from early on, right? It comes down to, are you willing to put the time in for absolutely no gain right now, right? Because me sitting here doing this podcast, it might actually gain me stuff like in a year, but right now, minus me having a chat with you and how fun that may be,
I must be the funniest guy you've had on.
Oh yeah,
I apologize to anyone that's under the age of 18 that may have heard me cursing. Like, I do sometimes get a bit out of hand. especially whilst talking to Carlton. So
You know what's funny? Like,
don't report Carlton's podcasts or videos or wherever they go, man. Like, do the solid and hit the like button. Like and share, as the vloggers say, innit? Like and share, subscribe,
100%,
like all that kind of stuff.
100%,
But make sure you
100%.
like and follow me first, yeah? Because I'm not as famous. I'm not as famous as Carlton, so he doesn't need any more publicity. Whereas I still need people to check out my stuff if I'm ever going to be like, do you know what I mean, a pro. Yeah. All right, Carlton, stole your limelight there, bro. Sorry.
It's alright, don't worry, bro. But no, it's just funny because like, whenever we have a chat, it's like, oh, this would take 5 minutes. Right? We'll just catch up with Chris, pretty fun, be like 5 minutes. An hour later, we're still stood there having a chat.
Yeah, like just... I think we were stood at the top in my like bookstore the other day for well over an hour, just like, because we'll get to like, it looks like we're getting to the end of a conversation, and then I'll go, actually, Carlton, do you know, have you seen that new kind of like, I think it was the other day when we were talking about the new G Master Sony just launched. We're just going and going and going, and then you'll think of something else, and it'll be something else, and it'll be something else. And it'll be like, actually, no, we really need to kind of go and do what we need to do now.
It's like mate, you realise we've been stood here for an hour.
Yeah, that's like when we finished the shoot the other day. And we stood outside mine for like God knows how long, like just rabbiting on. And I was like, and you needed to go, I needed to go, but we still continue to talk. But you learn stuff that way. Do you know what I mean? We all learn. Yeah, that's how you learn to be creative. Just you got to pick each other's brains, man.
I think everyone has to have a Chris. I'll put it that way.
Mate,
everyone has to have their own Chris.
Lots of people like. Do you know what I mean? Like even in the streams and stuff. Like if you want to come and join us on Twitch as well, that'd be fantastic. Like I'm trying to hit affiliate right now, so that would be cool. Like Chris Edwin Photography on Twitch, you know. But yeah, like I don't like to be miserable, and I like to just be happy and just have a good time in it. So yeah, I like making people laugh. This is good. It's a good thing. Because there's too much negativity in the world, man. Like, do you know what I mean? You know, I know. We've both worked. I still work in a retail environment. You used to work on a frontline retail environment. There's too many arseholes out there, man. That just want to ruin your day, and I hate that. Like, especially just because I'm always like to have a laugh and just be kind of happy all the time. So I hate people trying to rain on your parade. Just knobs, man. So don't ever let people put you down, man. It's just not worth it, especially on content as well. Like, because I think I've said to this before, we all look at stuff differently. So like, I might look at something and go, oh my God, that's going to make a great picture. But someone else would be like, well, what the hell are you looking at, Chris, man? What even is that? But that's the whole point of photography or video or whatever you're doing. Everyone sees something completely different. So like, I love the stuff that the guys in Salisbury are putting out. But other people might go, oh, hang on, what? Like, it's just a lamppost or it's just a building. But somebody took the time to look at that and go, man, that's going to make an absolutely stunning photo. Like, I think most of us would say that, especially coming from the background we're in. It's like everyone will look at it. Like, do you know what I mean? I really liked doing some product shots I did for like some of my own products at home, like my watches, and I really liked them. That's why I posted them. That's why they're on my social channel. But not everyone's just good. Some people might look at that and go, it's only a watch. Yeah, but to me, it made a really nice photo. So just keep going with whatever you're doing. And that's all that matters. So if someone wants to dig you out, yeah, whatever. But this is my content. I love it. That's all that matters.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of those things where a lot of people, like, and for me, there was that for a long time. It was like, I care what everyone's thinking about my content and this and that. But in reality, at the start, no one's going to watch your content minus you and maybe a handful of your friends. So just enjoy the content you want to create.
Mate, I think you've hit it there. Right? Just enjoy it because it's your content and you make it however you want it. So, I mean, some of the edits I do, I like because of the way that the style it is. And some people go, oh, maybe you could have done it. I think you've kind of said, oh, I would have done it like this. But that's great. And I really appreciate the feedback. But the reason I've done it that way is because that's how I like it. So, and if it's really bad, then I'd expect someone to say, Chris, man, you proper like F that up. Like you need to remove that because it's that bad. But I don't think I've got to a point. I don't think I've ever posted anything that has been like, oh my God, Chris, what are you posting? What even is that? Like, but even if I did, so what? I liked it. That's the reason I posted it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love all my
Exactly.
content, man. From the start of photos that I did of like trying to take pictures of Formula One cars at the Grand Prix, I had no idea what I was doing. Because I even remember asking you, "Oh my God, Carlton, how am I going to do this?" I'm trying to take pictures of Lewis Hamilton doing like 200 mile an hour on my 7.3 in a Tamarin 28 to 75, and it was just crazy. But a couple of them came out okay.
Just to give
So
some context for those who don't know, Chris was trying to get one of those shots where the car is in
it's the
perfect
panic. Is
focus
they call it
and
the panning
and the
shot?
it doesn't have a name. I honestly doesn't have a name, but you take it as if it was you follow the car, you don't follow the background, right? So just a different look, right? But it's like this weird, like out of this world kind of blurry image because the entire world is like moving as you take the photo. You should take it on probably a slightly drag shutter. But the car isn't that sharp in focus, right? Because the car is actually staying relatively in the same place in the frame,
I didn't get it.
whilst the
Just so
world
you
is
know,
flaming.
guys, I didn't get it. They literally Lewis Hamilton. I think because at that time I had really kind of a limited understanding of kind of the whole shutter speed thing.
Yeah, from
And
what
it
I
was
saw, your
like,
shutter speed was way too high.
yeah, obviously, mate, he was doing 200 miles. He looked like he was sat still. Obviously, the shutter speed was too fast. Like, it was just like I was just, but at that time, do you know, I don't care. I got a picture of Lewis Hamilton in his silver arrow, and I don't care because it was beautiful.
Look, don't get me wrong. Look, don't get me wrong. If you want to freeze motion and be like, look, I caught
Which
Lewis
is what I
Hamilton
did,
going
very
200
much
miles an
so, but
hour, right? Then,
uh,
then, then, well done, you cracked it, right?
I
But
did,
from
mate.
my understanding, what you wanted to do
Yeah,
was
let's just
get,
say that's the pictures I wanted were him sat still. Like, yeah,
100%,
nah, man.
absolutely.
But it's like I say, it's all learning. Obviously, back then, yeah, I didn't know. Like, that's why I was asking for kind of help. But like, if I get to do that again, which I'm hoping that I will be able to maybe next year when we can go back to F1, um, like I would have learned so much. So I'll be able to really kind of go there and get some kind of outstanding imagery because like it's just one of those things that's amazing. Um, Formula One, incredible sport, man, incredible. But yeah, I like that. Hang on, let me see if I can get like. Let's go back to like. If I push back on here, is it going to kind of like cut you off or anything, or
I
is it
have
just going to
honestly
run in the
no
background?
idea.
Let's go for it.
Honestly, no
Can you
idea. Let's
still hear
find out.
me?
I can hear you, but your camera's frozen, which is cool.
Yeah, that's because I'm just going on because I just want to have a little look. Let's go back to like a couple of the photos I took at the very start and kind of see what it was that we did. I remember I did some like dodgy ones of like Thomas running around. Like, so if anyone doesn't know, Thomas is my 2-year-old little boy. And I thought I was like a pro at catching him running down the hill. And honestly, the picture is crap. Um, what else did we do? Like, and then then it was like, when we really kind of first started. Mate, it was like the first time I actually had it gone. It was the 25th of April, 2019. So it's like been like just over the year. How weird is that? It feels like I've been doing photography for like absolutely
Forever
forever.
and
It
ever and
does,
ever
man.
and ever. Yeah, I know. Time
What do
flies.
we do? I think the next project we did, I think, was the whole Stonehenge thing. Because I've got like the proper thing, like the proper photography that no, actually it was Formula One first. And then we did Stonehenge.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because if I remember correctly, you went to the weekend,
Yeah,
and
that
then
was
you
in
went to
July.
see Lewis in at the weekend, and then the following week, or a couple of months after, or something,
Yeah.
we then did Stonehenge. Then what did we do?
I actually
Was
know.
that
My first proper actually. If you so 27th of August 2019, I think was probably my first picture that I took, which was a lovely shot of the cathedral ground, the cathedral. Sorry, not the cathedral grounds, the cathedral from the town path, and I think that's probably my first kind of oh my god, this is absolutely a stunning photo, and that's what I think was like oh my god, actually I could be good at this because it is beautiful. I'm looking at it now, going that photo is probably like one I should be proud of because like that was when I started really kind of going, like, actually, I could do this. I can make some really strong content here. So the
yeah, absolutely.
Stonehenge actually was the 11th of September, 2019.
So
So it
early
was
in the
actually
year.
earlier in the year than we thought. Yeah. So how weird
Very
is
good,
that?
yeah.
I thought it was
Crazy.
proper like ages ago, man.
And then what? I think after that, then you joined me on a time lapse shoot, wasn't it? Was the next one?
Well, I attempted. No. Let's say attempted. Like it was the guys. I'm gonna say it was the shittest time lapse you'll ever see. Like I kept coming in and out of frame. I had no idea what I was doing. Like it was just mad. But it was still quite good to watch. I didn't post it because it was kind of like it was a big file anyway, so I don't think I'd have got it on Instagram. But yeah, it was definitely kind of like I knew I needed to do better with that. But I've not actually done one since because I just felt like video is probably not where I want to be at. Don't get me wrong, full found respect for anyone that does video because I know it's an absolute monster to kind of handle. But I just love my stills. And some of the stills I've kind of got together, and I've still got lots that I need to render up and edit and post out there. But yeah, I just love my stills, man. Like, I tried the light trails. You told me about the light trails. I tried those. Like, that was pretty fun. That was actually the start of this year, light trailing. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's mad,
No, as I
man.
say, I mean, but that's that's what I was saying like before. Like it's one of those things where you just try a load of stuff and see what you like, right? Like
Yeah.
you didn't know you really didn't want to do video until you tried doing a form of video, right? In this case, it was a time lapse
Yeah, but
video,
let's
wasn't
be
it? But
fair, mate. I probably went in at probably one of the hardest things to try and do. Because
yeah,
like
to be fair,
you were like, oh my god, we need to change the ISO and I'm like, hang on, what? Like the guy's talking to me in like some kind of foreign language because I'm still learning, and he's like, yeah, and
I
obviously,
threw Chris
guys,
in the high deep end of
if
one of the
you've got a
hardest things to
Sony,
time lapse.
if you're rocking a Sony camera, you'll know that we have about 7 million menu pages, and I'm
Yeah,
like going through all this stuff, going, what is this? What's that? What's
what
this?
am I looking for,
Yeah,
right?
like what even do I need to put like so I was just like, do you know what? It was fun learning and watching Carlton do his job. Um and I had a great time, but it's not something I've kind of come back to. And if I do time lapse, I tend to just use my phone because it just doesn't I know I don't do them for as long as Carlton. Carlton does make some really beautiful time lapses. Sometimes I just like a little like I've done a couple at the cathedral where I've kind of set my phone up on my Gorilla Pod and just to kind of just let the clouds just kind of go over the top of the cathedral, and they look beautiful, and they're just for my personal like just to have. They look fantastic. But yeah, not something I've gone back to yet though with my kind of with my Sony. So maybe in the
when
future
I
once I kind of get into
when I
video.
pull the trigger on my next time lapse purchase, that you know what it's gonna be.
Yes.
I won't
Yeah.
reveal
Don't
right
reveal,
now
mate. We can do it. You can
what
do a
that's
reveal
gonna
on that.
be. But well, I mean that content will probably already have been out for 2 months by the time this comes out, so I'm not too worried. But when that comes out, you have to come along for the first my first
Yeah,
testing
mate,
grounds
that would be
on
incredible to watch.
that was
I tell you what, we haven't spoke about, Carlton, is when we went up and did. What did me and you do up at Old Sarum?
I honestly can't even remember.
Oh
Oh
my
the
god,
oh no, it was the beams, wasn't it?
yes,
It was the
literally, that was
beam
a
lights.
spur of the moment, wasn't it?
That
Um, that was
was
incredible. That is, if you didn't
February.
get to see that, that was it. Yeah, because that was the
It
anniversary
was
of the cathedral moving. Was it? Am I right?
yeah. It was well. It was the part of the start of the Swords of
Sarum.
2020
Yes, it was
Sarum
February.
Light. It was
It
the
was
same.
February. Sarum
It
Lights
was the same
Festival.
time as Sarum Lights. And the first night I was busy filming Sarum Lights. Then on the Saturday, where the last lights, where the beam was, were at
That was
Old Sarum,
it was so foggy
we
and
popped
but
up.
it was so good. Like when
Yeah.
they turned them on, because we didn't think they were going to come on, did we? And then all of a sudden, like these just it was like freaking Batlight, mate. I was like, where's Batman coming? Like, do you know what I mean? It was incredible. That was a really cool experience. Yeah, again, Carlton dragging me out on a friggin' freezing cold night, but I was very grateful for that because it was a very good shoot. I did enjoy that. That was fun, man. It's just a shame that this whole shitty like COVID's come along because it's like it's ruined so many opportunities for all of us guys that want to be creative and do like let's pop down to the local events that we're going to be going on around town, around Salisbury. Even if you're not doing it as a paid job, but we still like to go down. Like I took some pictures of what did we have in town when we bumped in and you were doing official photography and I was just doing some snapshots. Was it the St George's thing, George's Day thing.
No, that would have been
Was that
no. It
last
wasn't St
summer?
George's. It would have been. Was it the international? No, couldn't have been the International Art Festival.
No, it was the International Art Festival because they had all. Actually, it was because they had all the little stand-up people were doing like theatre in on the market square, weren't they?
Okay.
Remember? Because I remember you were doing
I
lots of
remember
videos.
filming it. I remember
Yeah, and I
filming
took some
it,
videos. I took some photo.
but I can't. I genuinely can't remember what.
That's because you've done
So
so
bumping
much
into
since
you
then,
the other
Carlton. You're
day.
too high class now, so you just don't remember these low grade things that we have to put up with. So
You know the thing. You know the thing. I do remember. I do remember us timing those bagpipe people coming out of the Guildhall at Christmas.
oh my
You were
god,
doing behind the scenes shots for
that
me,
was absolutely horrendous.
and I
Like
remember what you were
they
like.
kept putting
We're
up, they
gonna.
just kept putting it off. I can't remember. Like, and bearing in mind, I was meant to be at an event, an actual like proper celebrity event. Yeah, right. And Carlton's like, Chris, just like, come on, just hang it out. They'll be coming in a minute. I'm like, bruv, I need to be at the Salisbury Arts Centre. No, I need to be at Salisbury City Hall
City
to meet
Hall,
James
yeah.
Acaster. Yeah, like now, and I'm still here. And they just like, no, we've got to delay it. We've got to delay it. And I was like, oh my goodness, man. Like, I'm literally gonna miss an opportunity of a lifetime here. And people are like, well, who the hell is James Acaster? He's a very good comedian that I love. So yes, I was quite actually starstruck when I met him. And since then, I've also met John Bishop, if you want to know that as well. So anyway,
So
sorry.
yeah,
Back to that. Yeah, those bagpipe people, man. They're military. They should be on time. That's all I can say. That is all I'm going to say.
It was so funny.
I think he was a bit pissed though, because like he came out and he saw you, and I think they were like, "Wow, why is this guy taking photos of us?" I don't think they genuinely knew that we were genuinely there to do a job. Like,
Yeah.
they were just like, "Who's this random guy started doing pictures?" Even though Carlton's like kitted up, going, "Yeah, I'm genuinely meant to be here. Like, I'm being told that I need to."
That actually I was wearing an event. I was wearing high vis at the time.
Yeah,
and I had an event lanyard on.
oh mate,
So it was
that was good. That's what I said. The Christmas stuff was fantastic, man. Like the live advent calendar, and I just think that's all the stuff. Like especially the new guys that are up and coming, like are gonna not have the opportunity to do this year.
It's so
Because
sad.
I just think Salisbury's going to be just a different Christmas this year, man. But we'll just have to do. It'll just be a case of we'll have to find new things to do, innit? We'll just have to find and be creative in the way that we can be, and just make the best of whatever happens this December. Well, we're talking. Well, actually, this is good that we're talking about December, because if this lands in October,
it does, yeah.
Like we can talk about these things and don't feel bad about it. This is what I said. I should have put some tinsel on. We could have sung some carols. Like we could have got Christmas vibes going. Mate. I could have even had Home Alone on in the background.
You know what I mean? The one thing I'm gonna miss this year, like that I'll be very surprised if they do. To be honest, is the fireworks in the Guildhall on Christmas night.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
I will be
that's always a big deal.
That's
such a big deal. And it's a massive event, isn't it? Like, it is going to be a shame, man. Like, but
there's going to be so many of those
hang
things.
On. What happens if these things don't happen? We get tons of snow. Because I said to you, didn't I? I'd love snow to get that like cathedral. Because I've seen a few cathedral shots in the snow. Like, and I'd love that shot where there's no one's walked in the snow. It's just a blanket of snow over the cathedral. Nothing's been touched. I'm down there early morning. Like, what happens?
You're gonna have to get down there like 6 a.m, bro.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. That'll be worth getting up for 5 o'clock to get that photo, man. Like, yeah, I think it'd be great. I hope, fingers crossed, we get snow. I just think I think it'd just be good. And, like, we can all go out and be creative. And
that was a crazy time. We last got really bad snow. Like really bad. So do you remember?
Yeah, but that was next. It was that bad. I physically watched some guy drag his Pizza Hut on a sledge around town. Like that's how deep the snow was. I walked because even like my mate that works with me, he had to stay at my house for 2 nights because he couldn't get home. Like we went out to get food, and I was like, guy had picked up his pizza from Pizza Hut, and he was dragging it home on a sledge. That's how deep that snow was.
Yeah,
that's mad. Let's just pray we get snow, man. Because like now we've talked about it, I genuinely want it. And because this is coming out in October, I don't feel bad about talking about it.
Absolutely. No, that's
Oh,
good. No, that's good. I mean, I'll use the term interested to see what they do with the market this year.
well, all I can say is,
I
like, worst case is I'll dress up as Santa and just walk around town.
I am bringing my camera for
I knew you'd say that.
that.
Like, and I
I
don't
am
even
bringing
mind.
my
I
camera.
don't even mind putting on the extra weight between now and December, mate, because I quite happily sit here and eat like pizza all the time. So, like, that'd be cool, wouldn't it? Like, but no, I am like on a serious note. I'm genuinely kind of intrigued as to what may happen or what is going to happen. Because am I right in saying that they're looking at doing some crazy like um open air like so basically like the at 36 shop, the council looking to do some massive thing in a market square, which could be quite an interesting thing for us to go down and take pictures of. I don't
They're
know if you've
doing
seen it.
I've seen some council plans. I don't know
Yeah,
whether
that's
that's
what I've
Christmas
seen.
related
Yeah,
or
but
when
they're saying
that's
that might
looking to be
happen in the
done.
summer, and I'm just thinking like, wow, how like that's soon, or like
I think the summer's a bit of a push. I think they're deliberately putting it so it's got cover, so it will cover the rain season and
okay,
such.
okay,
I
okay.
think is the plan. I think the more the more realistic option for that would probably be September-ish.
Yeah,
To
because
be
I can't
honest,
see because we're due the charter fair thing as well. You normally like you do the time lapse, don't you, of the setup
sometimes
sometimes.
I did 2 years ago, but that won't happen this
Yeah,
year.
see that's how quick that's gone as well. I remember you
I'll
doing
put it
that.
this way. I'll put it this way. It will be like basically any event stuff I would normally cover. I've basically said in my own head, not gonna happen this year,
Not gonna happen
right?
this year. Yeah,
A lot of the stuff I was already got cancelled early was like the carnival thing for
which is a
Victoria, so that's
shame.
always fun.
Another big yeah.
You know, Christmas light turn on. I don't think will happen at all. I don't think they're gonna do it at all. I think they'll obviously turn on the lights at some point, right? But
It'll
if they
just be
even do
like,
the lights at
well,
all,
yeah, it'll be some guy just sat at his office going, "Oh, was I going to turn that switch on or not, man? Like, I can't remember. It's like, is that going to
yeah,
be on or I don't know."
yeah, absolutely, and yeah, and Christmas market will probably be spaced out a bit more, and I imagine will be like 2017's one because they're not going to have Frost. I'll be very surprised if they have anything like Frost.
Oh,
They're not gonna.
mate,
They've already
Frost
said they're
was the
not gonna have an
one.
ice rink. Then they've already said they're not gonna have an ice rink.
Yeah,
So
I seen
there'll be
that.
no ice rink, which means if they do any market at all, it will only be chalets, and that was what 2017's market was, right?
Yeah, I think I
Which
remember
is
that actually because I think back there, I must have just been in. Yeah, that would have been like my first proper kind of Christmas here. So yeah, I think I remember that actually.
you know,
Yeah.
so if they do that, that will at least give photographers an opportunity to
Yeah,
get
like you can make them
just
festive,
the
like
chalet, just to get
yeah,
the chalets alone, because the issue is, I understand completely why the ice rink and frost and etc. is there, but it's not very uniform in the respect of getting one shot of the market itself.
yeah,
Because it kind of dates it, right? Because if I took a photo last year, it'll be obvious it's last year because it's got frost in it, or if I took the
yeah.
year before, it'll be obvious because it has the ice rink in it, right?
Yeah, we
If
had
you
ice
take
rink
a
this year
shot,
as well, or year like last year as well,
yeah,
alongside
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Boston.
No, of course, but it's like one of those things where, like, if it's just all the chalets, it could be any year,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Of course, yeah.
But yeah, it's all up in the air right now, isn't it? Really,
I
we
think
don't know
like
what.
if for event stuff, I think we're looking 2021, like
Yeah, that's what most people are saying.
because it would be nice to try and do some of the bits like I know there's lots of guys out there doing it. Do you know what I mean? Like taking photos of these places and doing these event things. That would be quite fun. Like it really kind of excites me to think about that. Not even necessarily on like a paid front, just me going out and going, do you know what? I'm just going to pretend that I'm like doing this and see what I can do, and see how they come out, and then process them and just kind of see what they look like. Because it just makes it fun, doesn't it? Makes it just more interesting. Like
No, I mean that like it's funny. I didn't think I'd miss event stuff, right? I didn't think I'd miss it, but I do. I
yeah, you
really do.
will. Like yeah, because it's like a part of where you kind of started, like doing all your bits, isn't it? So you're gonna kind of go, oh my god, like where I started is I'm not doing that anymore. So it's just it'll be really weird for you because you're not
Well, yeah, lift off was my first main like thing. Like Liftoff Weekend in 2018 was my main thing.
Yeah.
I do hope they do fireworks at the cathedral again though, at some point soon, but probably 2021 maybe, like, because that was stunning. That was
I think to be fair,
so
knowing that
cool.
we are Salisbury, yeah, I think they are going to go big and they're going to go hard in 2021 because you think we've missed the whole 2020, like the year of Salisbury thing. They're going to want to go, do you know what, man? F you coronavirus. We're going to go big and we're going to go better. So I think for Salisbury, and if any of you are not listening, like that are listening out from Salisbury, like 2021 is going to be our year. Like we're going to go big. So you want to get down here and check out some of the events that will be going on. I think it'll be good, and I think it'll be I think they'll just go crazy with all the stuff. Do you know what I mean? Because like we've had some amazing things happen in Salisbury. Like, you think of like when Antiques Roadshow came to town. Like how big was that? That's massive. Like there was queues for hours around town just to try and get into Cathedral grounds. And what was we went and watched the Hanging Planet thing. Excuse me, I can't remember the technical name for what it was called now. But like that was amazing. Like how many people would have got to have seen that? Like that was it was brilliant. And all the things that like the council do try and put on, or the events teams around the area put on. I just think like, yeah, we are quite lucky to have some of the stuff that's happened in Salisbury happen. So like I say, it gives you guys that do the video and all that stuff, like some of the best possible things to go out and create content with, because you can really showcase these events that have taken place. It's just fab. And like even like the small things, like I noticed the photos you did of going around taking pictures of all the shop windows. Like people will go, well, it's just a shop window. Yeah, but like look at what it is. Look at like the whole point of that photo. The
point of those photos for me has never been let's show them now. It's so in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, we can remember Shop Salisbury as a campaign, as you know, and you know, there's been a lot of people talk about, you know, oh, what did you do during lockdown? What did you do this and that? And for me personally, it's been very, very lovely and very nice and I've been very fortunate to be able to be part of that campaign from a media perspective. It's been something which I've been very proud of. You know, I was lucky enough to be able to help out with the campaign video. You know, I was given opportunities to, you know, I was given a heads up before the windows were going in, so I could time lapse some of them going in. You know, and things like that is really special, especially from the like just a citywide thing, but also just for me personally anyway, as someone who has lived in Salisbury for most of my life, and you know, in that respect as well, it was kind of it wasn't a job in some ways. Like yes, it was, right? Yes,
yeah, but I know
but
that was like a heartfelt project for you. So like it wouldn't have been treated like a job. It would have been like, this is actually quite a meaningful project.
You know, for
like,
me, it didn't matter what the budget was.
It was
right? Like you could have said, Colin, we're going to give you £5. Right?
Yeah, fine.
Just for clarification, it wasn't £5, but
it was £2.50, guys.
Yeah,
it was enough to get a Greg's coffee, a large one at that.
It was pretty good. But yeah, it was, you know, it was this kind of moment that for me I'll look back on and be very proud of personally.
Yeah, I agree, man. Like I say to you, like that was some outstanding work. Like, yeah, it's a shame, like that, because what was the piece you did for BBC Wiltshire? That was the whole thing at the Cathedral grounds, wasn't it?
Serum Lights, yeah.
Because what was that, like 5,000 views, 6,000 views?
From
like something crazy.
Something like that, yeah.
That's mate. They should have been all over this as well, because like this is such an important thing.
Stay Strong Salisbury got 6.3.
Yes. See, there you go.
Man. And again, I put my heart and soul into that video.
That's paying numbers. Like they should be giving you £1 a view at this rate. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, crazy things.
But yeah, I think for me it was one of those things where it was a film where it was very special for me because it was the first film I really made when I was coming out of my creative rut in March. I made that film at the start of April, or started shooting that film at the start of April. And it was at a point where I told myself, right, you need to go back to work.
Dude, that's
Right.
really weird, right? Because you say that you were having like a creative rut, but as soon as I hit my furlough time, I just had a spark that was like, oh my God, I need to be creative every day. It's weird, isn't it? Like how we kind of went in different directions, like knowing that you're always being creative and I kind of hop in and out due to kind of other commitments.
March was rough. March was horrible.
Yeah, but like I
right?
felt for me, I had to do it because I was just like mentally, I had to keep myself focused on something because I stepped away from a job where I'm doing 60 hours a week to then being told you can't do anything. So I was like, shit, man, I need to find something to do. I have to keep my mind going. And like you see, I put out a fair bit of work, like, and I've still got some of that stuff that I've not even actually like edited and put out, like, because I did so much. I was out and about all the time, just going, right, what can I take a picture of? Literally, what can I take a picture of? I was taking pictures of everything. You name it, I've probably taken a picture of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's not an open question for you to then go, oh, Chris, what pictures did you take? Because like there were certain things we didn't take pictures of. All right, don't get your hopes up, guys. Man,
But
like,
yeah, I mean, it was the same with like the Ghost Town photo series I did for during quote unquote deep lockdown or whatever, when it was deeper in lockdown in that respect as well.
yeah, when
A
it was
lot of people
real
like
crap.
those. When it was
Yeah,
closed in
do you
lockdown.
know what? They were scary because like it was just mad. It's mad to look at them and go, I can envision that street as just being packed, or especially the ones you did of like the Mall, and you look at that going, mate, this place should just be like thriving with people, families, just
Especially
enjoying
at the time of
themselves.
day, when I was
Yeah,
shooting it.
it
Right, you
wasn't
can
even
tell
like
by
you
the
were there
light.
like early morning or like late at night. It's just like, and
It's
yes,
like the middle of the
people,
day, and it
we
was like no one's
understand
here.
that we're in a pandemic, but it's just crazy to kind of go, wow, man, I could never envision this to be that empty because it was just weird. Like, and still now, it's still like if you go out and about, it's just like. But I like the ones you did of like the build up to then things reopening because then it was the other end of the spectrum. It was like you started seeing things get a little bit more busy and then it was getting busier and busier and busier. And it was a really cool little project that you did like off your own back to kind of like show how things were completely different to normal life. So no, they were really good. I did really enjoy that set of pictures as well, actually. And yeah, guys, if you haven't checked them out, go and check them out. They are fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things that I did for me more than anything else because it was like, well, like I seem to remember like having a conversation like people should be documenting this, right? Like people, no one's documenting it. I was like, well, I am. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, I was just like, well, I would want to look back on this in a year to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, and if I have kids, I would want to show them what it was like then, you know. This is a historic point in time, right? Well, however way you phrase it or however way you do it, this is the point where, and a quote, I forget what stream it was. I was watching a stream from, I think it was Gary Vaynerchuk or someone around there. This is the time where, especially in business, where champions are made, right? Where you look deep, you really look at why are you doing what you do every day, right? You look into specifically why you're doing it, and then you dig deep and you keep pushing.
Yeah, well, that's it.
As I
Yeah,
said,
which is what
as
sure, it's a prime example of what you did, isn't it? Like, it weren't like you just kind of sat there and went, do you know what? I'm just going to sit around and wait. In your game, people don't come to you unless you're at that level where it's like you're made a brand name for yourself. Do you know what I mean? So you went hunting and what? You must have picked up a good cut of clients over the last kind of few months. Just by
it's been interesting. I'll put it that way. I mean, there's like people who I've kind of looked at from a content perspective and looked at their brand and their business, and they're not clients right now, but I think they could be in the future in one way or another.
You picked up clients I didn't think you'd kind of like pick up like that. That's just kind of how it went. Like, but I'm not saying that's a bad thing, by the way. Don't take that as a negative. Like,
Oh no, of course.
it's
No, I mean, I'm
crazy.
still
Like,
surprised with some of the people I'm getting to,
yeah,
the opportunities I'm getting to work with, and some of the things that are in the pipeline at the moment, that are, in
Hashtag we
discussion
can't speak about. Yeah, I know. I get kept out of the loop,
absolutely
guys, as
are,
well. He doesn't tell me everything, so
is very, very exciting personally. And there's many things that I've been working on and have been working on for a while, that one of which comes out this week, and that's not distracting in any way, shape, or form.
I know I know. I can tell you're smirking, bro. I can tell when you do it. Your tone of voice just changes slightly. That I can tell that you're smirking. This is how much that me and Carlton spend talking to each other. That I can tell you he's smirking behind the camera, and I can't even see him. Does that make me gay?
And no, in no way
Oh.
whatsoever. I don't know. Maybe you want to be. Who knows?
Carlton, I don't know. I've got nothing against it. So.
Absolutely, but yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that it's going to be very, very exciting future, for not just me, but in general, because a lot of what I'm working on is also, very big collaborative efforts, in that respect as well. So,
Oh, who are you collabing with?
many
talk
people.
about this.
Some. There's, I mean,
let's not spoil all the surprises actually now, because I'm intrigued now. So now I'll probe you after the video.
It's all good. But yeah, we're doing that thing again, Chris, where we're talking forever and we're not realizing that the time's.
Yeah, wait, hang on. Well, are we at like a wrap up point now? I don't know. You tell me. Like, I can talk into the early hours of the morning. If you need content, bro, I'll give you content. Once we get past 9 o'clock, that's the watershed gone. So we could turn this into a whole new topic.
Let's
not go there.
Let's not go there for this episode.
When Carlton's business has gone downhill and he started making pornos, then we can look at this kind of content.
Absolutely.
Carlton could be in the X-rated industry. Honestly, you don't need to use it. This could be an outtake, yeah? Oh, I don't trust him.
The amount of people, to be fair, right? The amount of people who get to the end of podcasts is very slim anyway, so I wouldn't worry too much.
Get to the end, mate. I'm ready to go for another couple of hours. What else are you going to talk
about? Many
getting bored of me now. See, like they're trying to throw me off.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hang on, I just noticed you must have like a paid subscription for your Zoom.
No.
So how are we going? Is that because we're not both using video that you're allowed to go over 40 minutes?
No. Everyone thinks I record these within Zoom's like recorder
interface, right?
Yeah. I don't at all. Right?
Yeah, no, I kind of
old-fashioned.
So I understand how you kind of. So how? Yeah, but I thought they only let you kind of have like a video. I thought they only gave you like 40 minutes for free as like the video interface.
Not as far as I'm aware. I've ran calls for 2, 3, 4, 4, 4.
Oh, okay. No, that's cool, because I know a lot of people have been using it kind of over the whole lockdown period, isn't it? It's like a way of kind of interacting.
I think it's one of those things. If you have more than 2 people, then
it starts getting a bit funny. Okay, yeah. When you've got like 16 members of your family trying to have a conversation, I just give up. I'd be like, what is even going on here? Like, I don't even know who's talking anymore. Like, that's what it'd be like.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah, absolutely.
Right, so what are we doing to wrap up? Like, I don't know.
Is there any closing thoughts you want to leave?
Guys, honestly, like for me personally, just stay creative, guys, man. Like whatever you're doing, whether it's your full-time job or you're just enjoying it as like a hobby, like me at the minute, just enjoy it, embrace it, have fun. Don't let anyone tell you you're doing a shit job, because you're not. And honestly, just enjoy whatever you do as a creative. You know what I mean? Like me, I'm expanding out into new things. So like I say, my Twitch stream stuff, like with some of my friends. Just be creative, man. Have a good time, have fun. And if any of you guys like need or want to talk, man, like Carlton's always available. Like hopefully he's gonna kind of pin my Instagram to this. Like, and I can help any way that I kind of can with the knowledge I have. But please come over, check out some work, maybe drop some comments down, tell me what you think. And if you are a gamer, man, please come and check out my Twitch. We're having some good bants over there as well. So yeah, man, just be creative, guys, man. And I'm sure I'll bump into some of you around the Soldier Streets at some point, as I've been meaning to for a long time, because people know me, but I've never met you, which is quite scary. in a
I
good
can't
way, I
wait for you
suppose.
to meet your. I can't wait for you to meet your first person who just knows you from Instagram. It's gonna be brilliant.
No, that's gonna be weird. Actually, no, tell a lie. I did bump in. I did that kind of weird thing with that. Like, there's a guy. I don't know if you follow him. Like, he's called UK Foodie. He's from Salisbury, and he
Vaguely.
always posts pictures of like really awesome looking food. You
Yeah,
must
yeah,
have
yeah,
seen
yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. And I see he
Yeah,
rode
yeah.
past me on his bike the other week, and I shouted out, "This is how sad I am." I was like, "Oh my god, you're UK Foodie!" And he was like, "Oh my god, some guys like random guys recognize me." And he was like, "No, fair play." It's the weirdest thing ever. I kind of did that. What I was like, what people do to you? Like, oh my god, you're Carlton Brunton. I did that to some random guy riding on his bike. He must have thought, man, this guy's some kind of crazy weirdo. But man,
It
trust me,
shows
if you want
your
if you want food porn pics, you go check out UK Foodie, man. The guy's got you covered.
100%.
Man, I'm shouting out
100%.
everyone. I'll tell you, I better get some like respect back for this. Like, everyone's gonna be earning killings off Instagram, and I'm still sat here on my Chromebook because I'm not upgraded. Like, yeah, kids, I'm rocking a Chromebook. Yeah, man. But by the end of the year, Chris will have a nice Apple Mac. So, see, we could even talk about Apple Mac. We ain't even talked about the
God.
Mac, Colin.
Oh god, no.
No,
Let's
we'll save that for a later
let's
date because otherwise I'll use up all my
save
good
that for
content.
later on.
Like we're gonna need to leave it a couple of months before we kind of get together again because I need to kind of think of some kind of new things.
100%, bro. 100%, bro. We could do
How
this like
much of
every
this are you
week. I don't
actually
think
gonna
we would ever
use?
do.
Like, are you gonna snip this about?
Oh, 1 hour, 40 minutes.
You're gonna use this whole video or
Pretty
this whole
much, yeah.
conversation? Oh my god!
Pretty much.
I remember when I went on the radio for BBC Wiltshire. I sound like such a dick when I hear myself back. Like.
You're gonna. Hope you
hate
guys did enjoy that interview. It was a little bit of a longer one, but I think there was a lot of value and quite a lot of interest in the creative space and photographers and how we think and how we do what we do and that kind of thing. So I think if you're new to photography, you would have taken a lot from this, and if not, then I hope you took some value from it anyway. I'd love to hear what you thought in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for getting to this point in this video. It was a longer episode time or longer episode this week, but thank you so much for watching. I'll be with you again on Wednesday for a brand new video as long as everything scheduling wise works out. But thank you so much for watching. Hope you did enjoy. Make sure to leave this video with a like and be subscribed to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you very, very soon.